I am Scofray and I am your transformational executive coach, master certified coach with the International Coaching Federation, and currently serving as the ICF Ghana chapter president. At the beginning of the year, I made mention that by the first end of the first quarter, somewhere in there, we will start deeper, wider thought-provoking, life-shifting, mindset-altering coaching conversations with global coaches, people who have tested the waters, walked the talk, navigated and charted the rise and fall of being a coach, and still committed to use coaching as an intervention, an innovation, an integration to make sure clients and corporates who come their way get the best out of it. And we've kept our word and we are committed to your commitment, like I always say. Today, I have an awesome lady. We met in Istanbul last year, and it was an amazing environment where various chapter leaders and an international coaching federation in Eastern Europe and Africa had to just meet up in person and discuss the way forward of leadership in that organization we serve. And since then, we've kept contact, we've kept that relationship going. So today, it's just going to be a coaching conversation. It isn't an interview where we are going to look for something to come through or something. No, it's a coaching conversation. When coaches meet, something emerges. I'm excited to have Elena join me this morning all the way from Europe to delve deeper into who she is and explore her coaching journey and what we can use coaching to achieve. Elena, I'm grateful that you can join me. She is a professional certified coach with the International Coaching Federation, the vice president of ICF Ukraine chapter, and I am humbled to have you here, Elena.
Thank you very much, Scofray, for this opportunity to be here with you. It's my big pleasure to talk here today with you about something which is so important for both of us, coaching, in this frame of professional coaching, because my mission, my belief is that we should really spread the professional coaching and help people through this magnificent tool, through this magnificent idea, I would say.
So for just to begin to, we say coaching is like a dance, it's like a tango. The client take the step, but here we are both the client, we are both the coaches and everything involved. How did coaching find you? Or between you and coaching, who found each other?
Actually, coaching found me, but not, like this. Coaching was chasing me, trying to actually find me, and I was resisting. Because coaching is something not so easy, not so pleasant sometimes. Coaching is something that requires change, and we humans don't want to change. We just want to stay where we are, in our safe, cozy space. So coaching found me actually in very interesting circumstances of my life where everything was great for me. My story includes moving from Ukraine to several countries. So I started my life in several countries. And by the way, by the time coaching found me, I was living in Poland, in Krakow, in a very beautiful city. And I had an amazing job. Actually, I was dreaming of this kind of job. I was working in an international company. I had my husband. I had a nice place to live. We traveled a lot. Everything was beautiful, but something was missing. And I felt like something was lacking because I had all these external things, but something inside was saying, no, there is something more to life. And I don't know what that more was. Long story short, I went to a webinar about coaching. And in several months, I was already into a coaching course, which really shook my life, which really made me think differently, feel differently. And that's how I became a coach. So my story of coaching was unexpected encounter, which turned into a profession, in a mission, in a devotion, into many things.
Oh, how how has the journey been? Because if I also look at how coaching found me, it was just a word or a conversation that trainers in a program that I was a participant. After the training somewhere, they were discussing, coaching was deeply emerging. They were discussing the frontiers of more or less like the new frontiers of human capital development to augment training and mentoring. And that is how I had coaching. And then, Lena, my part of the world, when you hear coach, especially in Ghana, it is purely synonymous with soccer. So I had to ask them. I said, Betty, what is this coaching you are talking about? Is it soccer? Has it got anything to do with sports? And they said, oh no, it is the new frontiers, this and that and that and that. And the way they could talk about the potency, the the miracle, the transformation coaching can bring to an individual, it got my heart to leap. And back then, there was no coaching school anywhere in Ghana. I don't even imagine anywhere in West Africa. 2000, I'm talking about. And I started following International Coaching Federation, started reading articles that they write, other expert knowledge. And guess what? Here we are. And I'm excited. But you said something was missing inwardly. And without going into the deeper dimensions of what was actually missing, but what was the feeling when externally you have achieved so much for yourself, traveling all over the world, and you could sense something was? What is the feeling like to come to that place of sensing something is missing within?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you. And I can really tell you what was missing and how I was feeling, because I was deeply unsatisfied. I was lacking energy. And we are talking, it was 2017. So I was almost 9 years younger. Yeah, I was supposed to have more energy. And I had almost no energy, no desire to do something. And I even didn't have still my daughter, so I could do anything. And so there was a sensation that I had no energy, no desire, no force, nothing like was driving me towards something. So it was just this calm, usual, regular daily life, which is very plain and, nice on the outside, but empty inside.
That's a very profound pictorial experience of what it is to achieve so much out there, and you know that there is this regulation ongoing within, and how coaching brought you into a space of having a relationship or an internal surgery, I will call it, to get you to step into this space of coaching. What I would love to know is what needed to shift to fall in love with coaching in such a way that you've never looked back.
You know what was surprising for me, that I do remember that attending that coaching webinar, that I returned from work. It was a regular, nice, actually, summer day. The weather was nice. Krakow is such a beautiful place to live. And I returned back home, and I felt like I don't want nothing. And I was not a person like that. I always did many things. And I felt like, oh, I don't have like energy to do anything. And I said, okay, I'll just watch this webinar. And because I had, what else I can do? And by asking those simple questions, the coaching questions, like who I am, what I have achieved, very simple questions. In like 2 hours, I felt like differently. I kind of rose. I felt energy.
Wow.
That's what made me actually go further, invest in coaching, invest in this path, my feeling empowered.
Wow. Wow. I am picking three keywords, like your feeling of empowerment, resuscitated energy, and you felt at risen, and I can actually relate, and I know many other coaches who are watching this can relate, that when you come to the place where something deeper in you sort of lights up, something deeper in you sort of rise up. You cannot describe it, but your whole body experience that thermoception, even your skin attests to that. Stepping into coaching, how has your journey been? Because you are a professional certified coach. No joke to get to that level. How has the journey been?
Well, that's a very interesting story. And yeah, since then, many years passed. And actually, I cannot say that this journey was full of roses.
Hmm.
On the opposite, this initial, yeah, absolutely, because roses also have their thorns.
Of course.
And this energy surge also has something behind, the fears, the doubts. And as you said, nobody knows what coaching is. And when you come to the world and try to explain, look, coaching is the best thing that happened to me. People look at you and
Mhm.
what are you talking about? Whom did you listen to? So
I like that one. Who did you listen to? Who is messing up your mind?
and yeah, and so this path has been really up and down, like a roller coaster. Because on one side, I really trusted myself, because I really trust that we are born to feel good. We are
Mm,
born to feel energized, to do good things into this world, to help others. And for this, we do need this energy. And at the other side, this change, all the change requires pain, requires tears, requires blood sometimes, right?
yeah.
And it's not so easy to pursue, to keep going when you feel desperate, when you feel tired, when nothing is falling into place. And besides just being a coach, I moved to another country on this coaching path. I had my daughter. I moved to another country. I started being an entrepreneur. So I left corporate world and I just decided to be a coach. That's totally another story. And I joined ICF, and somehow I became, board member of ICF. That's also another story. So this path has been really beautiful and really challenging for me. And I don't regret a step of it, because as as I like to say, with age, people are supposed to feel worse, less of energy, bodies kind of declining. But with age, somehow I feel better. I feel more energized. I have less disease. My back is not aching as it used to be 10 years ago. So many, many signs showing me that I'm doing something right. And as one of my clients told me, that coaching is really something totally transforming, that you totally start live differently. And yeah, that's that's this
I,
long
I,
story,
I,
very
I,
short.
I'm just traveling with you on that journey and coming to that acknowledgement that when you are so immersed in that purpose of coaching, where your heart is the center of all that you are sharing with the world through coaching. Recently I came to discover scientifically or biologically that the human being actually glows. We have what we call the ultra weak biophotons, and what you are saying just bring that to mind that when you found coaching, even what you deemed as the pain, the tears, even sometimes blood and everything, there was this a deeper place you were coming from. So instead of all these areas to be a stumbling block and get you to backtrack and say, no, 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 not entrepreneurship. Let me run back to corporate. Let me find some comfort space and leave. Yet there was something that was burning, like you mentioned, the energy, the purposefulness that was driving you because coaching has set you on the edge and you were willing to take a stand with and for your clients. I mean, this is incredible testimonial you have actually shared, and I believe coaches who are beginning their career path can take a clue from this that so far as you step in with all your heart, your spirit. You mentioned your spine. I mean, it's the center of your straightness, and it's the metaphor meaning that you are really in balance and alignment with your call as a coach. Coach Alina, if there is anything that has validated, affirmed, anchored, and assured you that this path, this pursuit you are on is a call for you, what would it be?
Such a profound coaching question, Scofray. I can definitely see that you're an MCC coach. So let me ask you, do you mean a call? Like, is it a calling for me? Yeah?
Yes, yes.
Mhm. As I mentioned, I really trust myself. And
Mm,
actually, coaching has been one of the most powerful ways to actually connect and trust with myself. So I don't really, and you know what, calling has been such a question. I was exploring, working with clients on, considering a lot. So I'm not. I might even question the idea of calling, right?
mm.
Because sometimes I believe that calling is like it has been imposed on us that you should
I
have
get it.
some calling,
I get it.
and when you find it, and then you will be happy somehow, right? And I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I think we all have this dharma, I love this dharma idea that we all have our meaning, something we could use our energy to make this world better, to make it flourish.
Mm,
And with or without understanding it, we are already doing it. We are the vessel. And coaching is really a great tool, a great instrument, a great movement, I would say, because ICF is really like ecosystem, right? Where I can meet great people who live on the other side of the planet, like you, Scofray. And so it would be yes and no. On one hand, it does help. But on the other hand, I would not really try to put, value into concepts,
mm,
but
mm.
rather in who we are and how we live this life.
What testimony gave you a certain experience that made you to say, I'm going all out with coaching? What any testimony that you remember of a client that gave you that this is it. I will stay in this path, use it to do any other thing, but to continually be a coach. What testimony?
Another great question. Yeah, actually, and here it would be also a tricky one. because once I had email from my client. I had like 30-minute session with this person, and then he just disappeared. And in 1 year, I asked him, so how have you been? What happened? And what he wrote was as incredible as it could be. And I say why it is an important thing, and why I see again a tricky part, because he said, like, Elena, you has been a super coach for me. My life has changed, and I have found so many friends here, because he is from Asia and he lives in
Mm.
Lithuania. And so basically, this conversation we had really shifted something in him, in the way he started like having different reality, started creating different reality. And it was like wow moment for me. But on the other hand, I don't really consider these wow moments to be the truth of coaching. For me, it's not about this like wow moments or results we can help create for people, but rather about this lasting inner change we help people create in themselves. So for me, maybe there were no testimonials like that, like, okay, you did something. Because again, coaching is not about me, it's about this human being. I'm created this space for, I'm training myself for. So they might be not even words
Mm.
people tell you, but
Wow.
yeah, but that's for me, it's this fine line, right? How do you know that coaching is the thing? But
I like that. How do you know coaching is the thing? There are many, well, I think at the last statistics, ICF is inching to over 70,000 coaches. And if you take the other coaching fraternities, we are actually inching into almost about 100,000. 100,000 sounds so huge until you look at the world and you know we are 8 billion population. So there are more room for others to join this career, vocation, profession paths to keep on serving humanity. As you were beginning your coaching career, if you were to go back with the lessons you have now, how would you navigate your coaching journey? If there is a young coach, or if there is a coaching student, or if there is anyone struggling with their coaching practice and being that which they feel deeply they should become. Looking at where you are now from 2017 to this point, serving in a board of ICF Ukraine, and all these dynamics, if you were to go back, what would you say can be a way to navigate and expand more?
thank you. Yeah, that's obviously easier, right? Now to think, okay, what should I have done differently? You know what? I could really, first of all, I would trust myself more. I
Mm,
would trust myself. I would really be sticking to, okay, look, I'm doing this, so I have less doubts, because it's really, okay, I'll tell you my formula, right? Something which helped me on this way, something I believe where we can put our focus. So first, as I mentioned, doubting yourself. So actually that's working with yourself, who you are as a person. Your inner world should be as clear to you as it could be, right? All these traumas, all these beliefs, it really helps to understand yourself
mm,
and have this grounding, understanding your strength, your weaknesses. So this is, I think, the core, who you
mm,
are. Then it's being a professional, grow and develop as a professional. Here comes ICF, right? And it really helped me a lot. I'm
Yeah.
really happy because quite soon I joined ICF, like in a few years when I graduated, I just joined ICF, and being in the environment of professionals does help because it shows you how to grow. It shows you, it indicates the limits of profession, limits in terms of structure, right? What you can rely upon. And the third is a business of coaching, because I think business, being able to sell your coaching is of paramount importance, because that's what makes you professional. Because when you turn your passion into a profession, right? So these things like yourself, your professionalism, your business acumen are three things I would really start putting more attention into, and then it helps actually to grow, to make money, to make impact, and develop on this path.
Mhm. Incredible. I think something that keeps coming up, and I will want to invite you to um, why as a coach, going on your internal journey important for both your clients and the practice and operations. So why is that important? Going on your own internal journey, confronting doubts, confronting imposter syndrome, confronting, am I even sure? Confronting, what does the market say? Confronting all that. Why is that internal journey important?
For me, it's like just being able to live many lives in one.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the person I was back then and person who's sitting in front of you right now are very different, persons. So I think that's even your MCC questions are leading me towards this identity, right? Questions. And the thing is, who am I becoming on this way? And that's not a pleasant part. That's not a convenient part.
No, tell me about that. That part you just brought into the space. Tell me about that because sometimes it's so easy. It is so easy for, let's say, the optics, people beyond to think that, oh, ACC, oh, PCC, MCCs, it comes so easy when you're from afar. Talk to me about the uneasiness, the discomfort, the challenges, yet trusting as a path or trusting as the as a means to keep on becoming, like you use, becoming a final version of you, not because you were a waste in the past. But talk to me about how those moments get to bring your becoming into reality.
Those are the worst parts. That's the darkest parts of the journey, Scofray. That's transition. That's the worst that can happen to a
Mm.
human being. I like this metaphor of going through the dark forest, when your life is something you understand, you know who you are, everything is clear, everything is bright as day, and suddenly you appear in a place where you don't recognize this territory anymore.
Mm.
And you don't see the path, and you don't even know if you're going in the right direction, and you feel so lost that these doubts, like these monsters of forests, appear. And I'm saying this, and I'm having shivers right now because I remember
Oh.
these moments of transition. Yeah, and I think that's the strength of a coach, because in order to transition There is no way to escape these dark moments. There is no shortcut. There is no books you can read to learn about it. You have to go through it with your own feet. But when you get on the other side, when you have gone through this path and you see something different, you suddenly get on the top of the mountain and you see other landscapes and you feel differently and you feel stronger and you feel that you can do such things. Then I believe as a coach, you really become more empowered to help others to go through these journeys, paths, transitions. That's how I perceive. That's my fantasy of reality.
Coach Elena, as a coach or as a budding coach or as a struggling coach, as whatever you are going through at this moment in time in any phase of you as a coach, from Coach Elena's even metaphor and experience, that when you go on your own journey as a coach, in those moments where you have your own imposter syndromes, you have your own self-doubt ongoing, unable to trust the process, and in all this, you still navigate and holding yourself through, it equips you, it sort of gives you certain assurance. It gets you to be able to empathize and exercise compassion with clients who come your way. And I'm excited that she's been able to touch on this. And we just drawing the curtains on this part of the conversation so that the next episode, Coach Elena and I will delve into the coaching business. Why should corporate and individuals invest in coaching? And so it's not done yet. The next episode brings you that part of the dimension.